So welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Navexa. I'm the founder of the Navexa Portfolio Tracker. And over the last 7 years, I've had the privilege of talking to hundreds of investors and seeing their investment strategies play out in real time. And the one thing that the high performers have in common is that they have a strategy and they are tracking it. In this video today, I'm going to be going over exactly how to track your investment strategy to make sure that it's working hard for you and that you're going in the right direction. Now, there are so many different investment strategies out there. People invest based off newsletters they've subscribed to, based off influencers they follow on Twitter, based off YouTube videos, based off all sorts of things. The purpose of this video is not for me to tell you which strategy is best, it's to show you how to track it to make sure that it's doing what you think it is. So let's take a hypothetical strategy like the core and satellite approach. Now, the core and satellite approach roughly is where you have the bulk of your money in the core of your portfolio, where you invest in things that you think are safer, and then you have satellite investments that are in things that you're interested in, but you're not putting too much at risk. How would you go about tracking a core and satellite strategy? Well, today I'm going to jump into Navexa and show you exactly how you would get your core and satellites in position to track the performance and see how they're going. So with that, let's jump in, have a look. So we're here in Navexa and I've added a bunch of stocks and some crypto into our portfolio. Now, typically, if you were just using a broker account to try and track your strategy, which I do not recommend, it would look like this. You'd have a list of things and you would have to figure out, maybe you export it to a spreadsheet, maybe you write it on a piece of paper. Probably you don't even track it at all, but you'd have to figure out from here, how is my investment strategy going? Now, one of the powerful things in Navexa is how you can group investments. So we could group it by exchange, for example. And now we can see all of our ASX holdings, crypto holdings, and Nasdaq holdings. But again, that's not that useful if your strategy doesn't involve exchanges. Similarly, you could group by sector and have a look at crypto, financials, healthcare, IT, materials. But we're not running that strategy. We're trying to implement a core and satellite strategy. So how would you set that up? Well, in Navexa, we've got a feature called custom groups. So if we jump here into the custom group feature, we can set up how the core and satellite strategy works. So let's make a new group called core plus sat strat. Now, it gives us some unnamed categories at the start. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this one core. We're going to make a satellite, so we'll make Sat1 healthcare. So we've got a satellite in the healthcare sector. We might make another one called Sat2 tech specs. And now we've got a core and 2 satellites. So what we do is in the core strategy, we're going to say, well, CSL's in our core, BHP's in our core, IVV and VAS. That makes up the core of our portfolio in the core and satellite strategy. Now, Apple is going to be in our tech specs. BTC, so we haven't made a category for that. So we're going to have Sat3 crypto gamble. I like that one. So we're going to put BTC in crypto gamble, ETH and crypto gamble. Now down here, Microsoft, we're going to put that in tech specs. Nvidia, we're going to put that in tech specs as well. And SIG is a random healthcare company on the ASX. So we've set up all of the different holdings there. I think we got all of them. And then here we're going to click Save Changes. Now, when we jump back to the portfolio screen and we come down here, if we now change the grouping, you're going to see we have core and sat strat in the custom group section. If we turn that on, we're now tracking our core and satellite. So you can see core up the top. The core has a value of 158K, capital gain of 52,000, capital gain percentage of 12.2%. We can now see that our healthcare spec is doing really well, up 83% since we owned it. You can see things like our tech specs performing at 24.18% in capital gain. And you can see the individual numbers within it. So Nvidia's down since we bought. And then at the bottom, we've got our third satellite, Crypto Gamble, and you can see we're up 48.44% on that particular satellite. So that means going forward, you can track this strategy accurately and see if things are heading in the right direction. If we turn on the weighting column, for example, you now get weightings down the side. Let me move that out of the way. And so you get a subtotal at the bottom. So our strategy might be that 80% of our portfolio is going to be in the core. And then other satellites should be no more than 10% or no more than 5%, say. So you can see here, we can see we've got 79.52% weighting in our core portfolio, so pretty spot on for 80. Our healthcare, 3.49, so that's under our 5%. But then you can see our tech specs and our crypto gamble are breaching that parameter. And I get that this doesn't add up to 100%, but it's an example if you had multiple satellites and that was your restriction. So you could quickly see, okay, we've got too much weight in this particular satellite. What are we going to do? And maybe in this case, you'd sell off the worst performer, or maybe you'd sell some of the best performer. Whatever your strategy is, I'm not here to tell you one way or another. So that is exactly how you can track the core and satellite strategy from a performance point of view. Other things you can now do is in diversification, for example, you can see we're still set to core and sat strat, and the diversification now gives us a chart of those weightings as well. And similarly, if you prefer to look at a pie, you can change to pie chart and go, awesome, our core is 80%, that's where I want it to be. And you can come down and see various metrics here as well. We can look at contributions. So again, we're still grouping by core and sat, and you can see that our core portfolio has contributed the bulk of our capital gains here. And you can see which of the satellite strategies is doing what. So all kind of even. Crypto gamble's kind of paying off. Pretty cool. So that's the way I'd recommend tracking your investment strategy. But of course, there's plenty of other ways to do it. You can go the old-fashioned route and use a spreadsheet, or even go pen and paper. The important thing is that A, you have a strategy, and B, that you're tracking it. So that's it. If you like this, check out the next video.